2.0. And I'll tell you every week why we're calling it 2.0, because there's certain aspects of the work. We introduce the very basic element, and then we tell you where it can go so you understand where you're doing it. I want to make sure, and I'll tell you this every single week of why we're here. Most people, when it comes to acting and when it comes to acting classes, they sit back and they take in the information and they judge things up here. Yes, I like this. Yes, this inspires me. Yes, this, yes, this. And what happens is all you're doing is thinking and judging stuff. And that's not acting. That's being a critic. That's an intellectual to learn about acting exercises. The best thing Michael Chekhov once said is, don't dismiss anything till you make it practical. By that, we mean try everything. That's one acting skill you're learning, which is don't think about things. Try them first, actively. Do them in your body. Acting is active by definition. So whatever these exercises are, they might seem stupid to you at the beginning. Get in your chair, get off your chair, and do them and try them, okay? The other thing is I want you to get your space ready. So you have a space that you can move around, and also you have no interruption for a couple of hours. If there's people at home, and they will be at home, tell everyone to leave you alone. Tell everyone for the next 2 hours, I don't exist. If they come in and ask for the sugar or the coffee cup or whatever they ask, then just say, hey, this, that, but learn to work at home. If you don't work at home, you will not do this. You'll always wait for the right opportunity. You'll get nervous, okay? So if you haven't created the space and you haven't created the home and you haven't created all this kind of stuff, it will not happen, okay? So I want you to have a space. I want you to have a hard chair or any chair for now. Sit in your chair to get comfortable. We won't do this just yet. We'll get there. When you're doing this at home, and I'll talk for a few more minutes to let people come and join us. When you do this at home also on a regular basis, I want you also to have some music playing in the background. No words, just enough to kill the outside interruptions, okay? It's very important. Please understand this. It comes down to acting skill. And a lot of what we're doing here is feeding you acting skill. I try very hard to tell you what aspects of the skill we're talking about. Like me saying to you, hey, don't think about it, don't judge it, do it, is actually something you're going to learn as an actor. Don't think about things, do them. No matter what suggestion someone says or a director, don't go, nah, I don't think that works. Try it first. Try it so that you do it. You know what I'm saying? Always try things physically, actively. And don't do them with this dismissive kind of attitude. Nah, I don't think it's going to work, because then you've already killed it. Try it, you'll get something out of it. So a lot of these exercises, and without name dropping, these exercises, a lot of them is what they do at the Actor Studio, they do at the Lee Strasberg Institute and all this kind of stuff. Try them. There's amazing people with Academy Awards that do these stupid exercises, like the morning drink, like shaving and all that kind of stuff, which we will address tonight, okay? So have your space ready. I want you all to understand one thing now. You are a product, okay? What you are, wait there for a sec, what you are is a product of it all. And what happens is that as you're a product, what happens is that they see so many actors that the one thing that gets you through the door and sustains a career, there's one ingredient you need above everything else: acting skill. That's what we're here to learn today. Acting skill trumps everything. Charm helps, who you know help, but if we take that one ingredient, acting skill, away, then you have nothing. You got me? And with nothing, if you know people, you don't have acting skill, that's what you will remembered as. You'll be remembered as someone who just knows someone, and but you don't actually have acting skill. So now, before we continue, I know you all love acting, and I'm going to read you something from Charles Bukowski. He's an amazing writer, okay? I want you to hear this, because this is what we're doing here. So many people tell me, I love acting, I love acting, I love acting. And I say, yeah, but what are you doing about it? If you're not investing daily hours into this, I mean daily, you're going to get nowhere. And most people, unfortunately, go around their acting career as if it's going to happen. And I'm telling you, it's not going to happen. Not to be a negative bastard, just for you to wake up. Because when I say your acting is not going to happen, what I mean by that is the amount of work and energy you put into it doesn't add up to what you're trying to get out of it. So you need to change this. You need to change what you're putting into it, not your expectations. Because what happens is over years, we change our expectations. Don't. Keep your expectations high, keep the workload very, very high, but then get ready for it. So here we go now. I'm going to read you this thing here. Okay. This is a letter written in 1986. Okay. And it was by Bukowski, and he wrote it to his best friend. But here's why I'm reading it for you. This is what we're fighting. This is what we're fighting. Okay. Here's the letter. Hello, John. Thank you for your letter. I don't think it hurts sometimes to remember where you came from. You know the places where I come from. Even the people who try to write about that, about make films are right, they don't get it right. They call it 9 to 5. It's never 9 to 5. He's talking about the 9 to 5 day job, which is what we're addressing here. Because I want you to realize how little time you actually give your acting career compared to other things. Okay. It's never 9 to 5. There's no free lunch break at those places. In fact, at many of them, in order to keep your job, you don't take lunch. There's overtime, and the books never seem to get the overtime right. And if you complain about that, there's another sucker ready to take your place. You know the old saying, slavery was never abolished, it was extended to include all the colors. And what hurts is the steadily diminishing humanity of those fighting to hold jobs they don't want, but fear the alternative worse. People simply empty out. There are bodies with fearful and overwhelming minds. The color leaves the eye, the voice becomes ugly, and the body, the hair, the fingernails, the shoes, everything dies. As a young man, I could not believe that people could give their lives into those conditions. As an old man, I still can't believe it. Why do they do it? Sex, TV, an automobile, a monthly payment, or children? Children who are just going to do the same as they did. Early on, when I was quite a young man going from job to job, I was foolish enough to sometimes speak to my fellow workers. Hey, the boss comes here. You can't talk to us. And they would leave just like that. Don't you realize that? They would just look at me. I was passing some time, and they didn't want to even enter their mind that we could just have a casual discussion. Now, in the industry, there are vast layoffs. They're laying off people by the hundreds and thousands, and their faces are gnarled. I put up 35 years. It ain't right. I don't know what to do. They never pay the slaves enough so they can get free, just enough so they can stay alive and keep the job. I could see all this. Why can't they? I figured the park bench was just as good as being a barfly was just as good. Why not get there first before they put me out there? Why wait? I just wrote in disgust against it all. It was a relief to get the shit out of my system. And now that I'm here, a so-called professional writer, after giving the first 50 years away of my life, I found out that there are other disgusts beyond the system. I remember once working as a packer in the light fixture company. One of the packers said, "I'll never be free." One of the bosses was walking past his name, and he let out a delicious cackle and a laugh, enjoying the fact that his fellow was trapped for life. So, to luck I finally had of getting out of those places, no matter how long it took. It's given me a kind of joy, the joy of the miracle. I now write from an old mind and an old body, long beyond the time where most men could ever think of continuing such a thing. But since I started so late, I owe it to myself to continue. And when the work begins to fail, and when the words begin to fail, and I must be helped on the stairway, and I can no longer tell a bluebird from a paperclip, I still feel that something in me is going to remember, no matter how far I'm gone, how I've come through the muddle and the mess and the mole, to keep at least the generous way to die, to not be able entirely, to not have wasted entirely someone's life seems to be a worthy accomplishment, if only for myself. Find that letter, read it. Charles Bukowski, letter to his friend. I want you to understand this. Most of you talk about how much they love acting. Most of you You see people talking with such passion, and I say, what are you doing about it? If you love it that much, why are you only turning up to some fucking class on a weekend for a few hours? This is the rest of your life. Do this every single day, hours of it, not a few minutes here and not a few minutes. And please don't wait for inspiration. Inspiration happens once a blue moon. Dedication is every day. That's what's wrong with your acting career. Not that you're in a different country, not that there's nothing going on with it. You hear people saying, oh, there's nothing going on there. There is nothing going on with the industry. It doesn't mean you don't do anything, okay? You are a product. And if they hear you or see you in something that you're good in, trust me, the work gets around. So now, tell everyone to leave you alone for the next 2 hours. And it's not open for discussion, what we do. Meaning we're going to do a lot of crazy stuff right now. And it's not open for discussion. You can't get out there and say, hey, I did this, I did that, I did this. Don't. And finally, before I continue, a few agreements. They're not rules, they're agreements. Nothing we do here is therapy. It's not about that, okay? I want you to take, and I'll remind you this every week, I want you to take you, the person, and separate it from the actor. We're going to take the actor and mess with them. And then you can get on with your life. And these things take time to get into it. And they do take time to get out of it. Okay? And remember the other golden rule. Don't do it like an acting exercise, because that's all you're going to do. What I mean by that is you're going to just piss it away. All right? You need to do it. And you need to do it at such a committed level that you believe enough in this. And if you don't do that, you'll always just be a judge and just and the exercise or what you're trying to create will fall apart. So here's the work now. Grab a chair. This is called relaxation. If you Google photos of Lee Strasberg or Actor Studio, you'll see people relaxing in a chair. It's done on a hard chair, and we're going to do this every week, and we'll do it again and again. And you should be doing it at home. For those that just joined us, just follow along. For those of you that we've been doing this along, what you need to watch out for is now you know the exercise, so your brain will automatically jump to the end. You're going to jump to a result, and that's another lesson you're going to learn. Don't anticipate the result, because what happens is your mind or your body just jumps to the end and go, it's not working. It's not working because you didn't go through the process. Now, think of relaxation. And I want you to change the word from relaxation to awareness, because awareness is what it's about. It's about you becoming aware of your body and your mind and your physical body. Otherwise, you're all up here. One very simple rule: sit in your chair, relax the arms, and just make a simple sound for now. And what you're trying to do, the more you do this, is to stay focused on the body. Remember, like I said a few weeks ago, your brain and your mental capacity is only good for a few seconds. You know what I'm saying? Between 5 or 10 or 20 seconds, you'll start to drift off. So right now, make a sound and relax and exhale. I want you to feel the body physically. Feel your chest rise and your chest collapse. And the moment your mind drifts off, start to bring it back to what you feel physically. Every single time. Doesn't matter what you start with. I'll sit back further. Today we'll start with the leg because I just picked it. Fair enough. Whenever you're ready, sit in your chair, get comfortable so you don't fall off. This in LA, just so you know, and I'll tell you this every week, in LA they do this for an hour a day. We do it roughly 40 minutes. Today here, we'll do it for about 15 to 20 minutes, okay? Relax. Now start to move. Pick one leg, lift it up, keep this loose. Imagine this is loose, and just rotate the ankle right now. It looks like this. Make a sound, rotate your ankle. I want you to genuinely feel the ankle, feel all the muscles folding over. right there, and relax. Now, there's a very good chance that a lot of you are going, what is this bullshit? What this got to do with acting? That split second, you're back in your head. That's what you're trying to fight. For you to start that inner chatter, go back up there, rotate the ankle, make a sound as you work. My focus is right here now, and relax. Whenever you're ready, lift up your leg and move this lovely knee of yours just up and down for now. Don't be a dancer. Don't do this. Just up and down. Just feel it right there and make a sound. While you're doing this, as I say every week, it's okay to shift your body weight around. It's okay to get comfortable, but my main focus right now is here. And relax everything else. All this should be collapsed. Up and down, right there. Feel the muscle right there. And with that, as you do that, I want you to be aware of the sound so that as it comes out, the sound is relaxed. It's this. Don't daydream, don't meditate. Meditation, you stay on one thing and you just kind of zone out. This is not. This is becoming aware of the physical body. So you pick up your leg, feel the thing right there. Sound is important. It opens up the body. Please understand, this is one thing that you cannot just catch up overnight. It's like being out of shape as an athlete. This is stretching or getting in shape. It's what they call getting an actor's body. And this takes years, not weeks, not weekend workshops. This is the rest of your acting life. So pick up your leg. Right there, right there. Relax. If you feel your shoulder or anything else creeping up, relax, 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 relax. Whenever you're ready now, pick up your leg, rotate your hip right here. My focus is right here. I'm obviously talking to you, so I'm trying to see some of you. You should be only focused here on your ankle. I mean, on your hip. It's okay to shift your body weight around as you do it, but as you do it, keep everything else loose. Look. Relax. Let the leg go. Don't fall off the chair. Here's what happens now. When I finish this leg, okay, I should now feel the difference between the two. What I mean by that is this here, I should be more aware of it. By awareness, I mean this. I am more aware of the physicality of this leg than I am of this one. It feels different. That little movement, I'm more aware of it. So to some degree, my mind now is here. It's not daydreaming. It's not going about what I got to do tomorrow, what I got to do this, that inner chatter becomes less and less. Be aware of this leg. Whenever you're ready, do the same on the other side. Now, eventually, please understand this. I don't want you to go from one leg to the other, because that tells me, and it's going to tell you in your own mind, what you're doing is a mental checklist. Right leg, right arm, left arm. And we want to avoid that. Down the road, you should go to whatever body part you feel tension in, okay? But just so we all understand the basic structure of this stuff, go to the other side now. It's okay, once again, to shift your body weight around. Don't have a chair with arms on it. Just relax. Whenever you're ready, pick up your leg, rotate the ankle. It looks like this. Don't use the floor because you'll overstrain it. Just rotate the ankle right there and relax. Whenever you're ready, do the knee right there. It looks like this. Relax right there. And then whenever you're ready, do the hip. Make a sound as you work. Now, as you're doing this, be aware of everything else, okay? Just keep everything relaxed. Relax. Make a sound as you work. Feel that body relax now. While you're doing this, and you can, while I'm talking, you guys can keep moving anything else you like. The point is this: there's a very good chance that to some degree, your brain right now is either laughing at you, or you're worried about what the people next door will think, or you're thinking, oh my God, my family, my blah, 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 and next door, and I'm going to make a sound and it's going to be weird. That at that level, you've taken 10 or 20 or 30% of your focus and allocated it over there. So you're only working with 70 or 80% capacity. And we're trying to change that, meaning right now, your focus is here. And the big thing I try and tell people is this: if you don't manage that today in your work when you're doing it at home, you will not be able to do it on a film set because you think you will, but it doesn't get better because you're going to take all your shitty habits and do them over there. So what you're trying to learn now and discipline your body and your mind is to do it now 100%. So when I'm doing this, my focus is here. My focus isn't up here talking about, oh, this is a weird exercise. Oh, no, it's here, right there, right there. And you make a sound as you work. I just did these two legs. Whenever you're ready, I'll sit on the side so you can see me better. We'll do the arms from now. Take, relax the body like that. The hands. You don't have to do every single finger. Just whenever you're ready, rotate the wrist. Right there. Feel the wrist right there and make a sound as you work and relax. Whenever you're ready, do the elbow. Pick up this, keep this loose. Up and down. Actually feel this. Relax. Don't bulldoze this. In theory, you should have an hour or 40 minutes. We're doing it quite quickly to show you. Whenever you're ready, rotate this. Right there, right there, right there, and make a sound. Get your head out the way so it looks like this. As you rotate all this, be aware of this, be aware of this. My focus right now is here, right here, right here, right here. I feel the muscles kind of folding over. I feel the muscles right there. Make a sound as you work. And if your mind drifts off, which it will, bring it back to here. Bring it back to here. Make a sound as you work and relax. Now, I've moved one arm. I have not moved the other arm. I should feel the difference. I already do. Right there, there's an awareness of it. You got me? Whenever you're ready for now, next week we'll just bounce all over the place. Do this side. Same kind of thing. Do the hands or the fingers. Do the wrist. And relax. Do the elbow right there, right there. Relax. The moment you relax, I want you to feel the physicality of the body. Whenever you're ready, shift your body weight around. The shoulder now, like this, right there. Make a sound as you work. Right there. I feel it. I feel it. Make a sound. My focus is right there. Relax. To a very, very, very small degree, I mean a very small degree, you should be able to be aware of your body a little bit more than when we first started. You should be aware of it in a real way, not in an intellectual way. You should genuinely feel the body more. You got me? I already feel my arms and my legs more. And I don't like to do this in an artsy fartsy way. What's the point of that? It's not about that. It's about you learning a discipline so that when you get on a film set, you're able to just sit there and just bring your mind here. That's where the payoff is. Okay? We've done what I call the extremities. What's left is the spine, the neck, and the face. With your face, I want you to be very, very specific now. I want you to rotate the jaw. It looks like this. Squint this side, relax your jaw, relax your face. Whenever you're ready, rotate your head. Be aware that 3 things happen as you rotate your head. This will happen. This will creep up on you. This will happen. You're going to tense your face and the jaw clenches. As you rotate your head, work around the pain if there's pain, but feel the muscles. Once again, we're not meditating. Rotate. Turn your head to the left. Turn your head to the right. Make a sound. Now, with your head, as I've said in the past, sometimes it's easier to hold it up. Sometimes it's easier to make it fall down like this. Some people tilt to the right, some people to the back. But there's like a pocket where it just kind of sits like that. That's what you want eventually. And do this with your eyes closed down the road. And as you finish your breath and making a sound, catch your mind drifting off. Catch your mind drifting off. And the moment it drifts off, move something. Move something. Move something. That movement is enough to bring you back here. You got me? So you come back into it. Okay? Whenever you're ready now, pick up, sit up in your chair. Turn to the left without grabbing the back of your chair. Just turn to the back. Feel the back stretching. You should feel it. And then very slowly the other side. Also imagine there's a pole there, and I want you to work around it. Make a sound as you work. Relax, relax, relax. While you're talking, while you're doing this, and like I said, when I talk, you guys keep moving. It's okay to move other parts we've already moved. And don't do it. Here's another acting skill. Don't do it, oh yeah, I've already done this, I know what it feels like. No, because then that's how you're going to do every play. That's how you're going to do every take. Yeah, I already know this. No, the point is to rediscover. So I want you to rediscover the move while I'm talking to you. I want you to rediscover your leg, rediscover your arm, rediscover your spine as you do it. Otherwise, you bulldoze things. Yeah, I know what this feels like. Yeah, I know this line. And you bulldoze it. Then that becomes your habit. And this is where we're catching bad habits, right? So I want you to rediscover your spine as I talk to you, okay? Please think of this like an athlete getting ready for work, an athlete stretching. Every person, even when you go to your day job, you change outfits. When you go to, to a bar at nighttime, whatever you do, you go out, you change clothing. For acting, at least 90% of the actors out there do nothing. They get the script and they start learning lines. They don't do anything to prepare the body. This is what we're doing here. So prepare your body, get ready for it, make a sound, rotate everything else. Now there's 2 big moves left. One of them is leaning forward. Just sit back in your chair, make a sound as you work. Imagine someone's holding your shoulders, and I want you to crumble the body forward. What I mean by that is this. Imagine someone's holding your shoulders and crumble this down. It's not yoga. Go down as far as you can. Come back up slowly. Make a sound as you work. Make a sound as you work. And one other big move is take your hands. Imagine you're going to punch forward. Now, this is where the explosive sound is done. They used to do this. Ha, 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 ha. Whenever you're ready, and I know this feels stupid because now you're going, oh my God, my family's in the other room. No, forget them. Do this. Take your arms out to the side. Feel this open up as you make a sound. And once again, catch your mind drifting off. Catch your mind going left and right. And whenever you're ready, and relax. Make a sound. Feel your body. You stay in the chair while I talk to you. While I'm talking to you now, I want you to feel the body and feel it all here right now. You got me? I want you to have a new awareness of everything, a new awareness of your body. That's what we call, and once again, I hate using these artsy-fartsy words, the instrument. All we're doing now is tuning the instrument. When you take an instrument out of a box, they sit there and they tune it. They get it ready to play. The more you do this, the more your body will be used to it. So you're going to sit down in your chair and your body will go, yep. I feel my body genuinely to some degree. Please do this every day. 40 minutes minimum. Do it when people walk around you in the kitchen. Do it in your living room. Tell everyone to ignore you. Because one day, and I want you to understand this process, one day you'll do something like this on a film set. And if you don't do it now, if you don't give yourself permission to do it now, you're going to get on a film set and you're going to go, I shouldn't do it because such and such is watching. And you're going to kill all your work. You're going to do nothing. You're going to genuinely do nothing. So that is a very basic exercise. They call it relaxation, call it awareness, call it whatever you like. The point is this, it's getting this instrument ready to work. Now, for those of us that weren't here last week, we're going to be here next week. Now, here's what we're doing. We've been working off a couple of monologues. You don't have to use monologues for these exercises. I just picked one last week, picked from On the Waterfront, where Brando talks to Rod Steiger. He says, I'll just read it. You don't have to memorize it, do anything. If you have it from last week, it's okay to print it out. If you don't have it, we will read it right now. And all we're doing this, please understand, we're not doing this monologue, meaning we're not doing the monologue from the film. We're just using this monologue for our sensory work, which is what this is called, right? It's the scene that takes place in the back of the cab, and Marlon says, it wasn't him, Charlie, it was you. Remember that night in the garden? You came down to my dressing room and said, kid, this ain't your night. We're going for the price on Wilson. You remember that? This ain't your night. My night could have taken Wilson apart. So what happens? He gets a title shot outdoors in the ballpark. And what do I get? A one-way ticket to Palookaville. You were my brother, Charlie. You should have looked out for me a little bit. You should have taken care of me just a little bit so I wouldn't have to take them dives for the short end money. What we mean now is you're going to take these words and make them yours. You're not going to be a prize fighter. You're not going to be talking to your brother in the back of your cab. You can change the lines. Because when he says, you know, Wilson, who's Wilson for you? You know what I'm saying by that? What are you talking about? Who let you down? It doesn't have to be your brother. It could be yourself talking. So we'll apply this monologue to some of the exercises. Now, just so we're all aware, the last few weeks, what we did is a morning drink, which is the morning drink at home. What we did is makeup or shaving, which we will do the morning drink to some degree today, just to have it here. We'll do the morning drink and the shaving over here, just to have it here. And then today, what we're going to do for a brief moment is do rain. We'll add the rain here. And after this, we'll talk about fabric, because not everything we do is, you know, killing grandma and all that stuff. What I mean by that, some of the exercises we do are just physical, like a smooth fabric and a rough fabric and all that kind of stuff. But now we're going to do rain. Okay? So I want you to pick a small section anywhere you like. And I want you to create, and please understand before we continue, none of what we do is therapy, right? It's not about that. I want you, and I know what happens when we do this. As I said earlier, a lot of people go, I did this last week. Well, you're going to do it again. Mastering something doesn't get mastered by doing it once or twice. I want you to create a place where you had a morning drink with the family, mom or dad, when you were a kid, not now, before you had opinions about what you drank, and just touch it. Now, here's the skill factor. Touching isn't this. Touching is actually moving your hands. Touch the edge. And add things like a smell. Make a sound as you work, because eventually we change the sound and add words from it. So once again, what morning drink did mom or dad make for you that makes you feel, wait, now we're making this choice to go down this path, that makes you feel homely. Now, whatever your family background is private information. You don't share with anyone. But even if it wasn't the best, there's some element of it. To some degree, for a moment, it all worked. So what would that morning drink look like? Like I've said in the past, if they made you hot chocolate, would they have a cake on the side? Would they have a treat on the side? So once again, the skill is to touch and smell things and touch the table again and make a sound. And make it nice. Smell it. And then go over here. And imagine, we're going to put now the mom and dads of the world over here. I want you to imagine that you're touching one hand, mom and or dad. And for this split second, everyone gets along. It's all positive. So touch, 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 touch. Make a sound as you work. What's it like to be here? What do you smell? And don't answer these things in terms of emotions. Don't say makes me feel sad. That's a result. Do you feel comfortable? Do you feel like your sense of, wow, I remember this place? What do you remember? And I always tell people, look for those things that you don't have access to anymore. What's the one smell or the one sound or the one thing you don't have? This table, I don't have access to it anymore. It's gone. So what smells do you remember as you do this? Smell it, touch it, smell it, touch it. Now, before we continue, I'll stop. You keep working. By keep working, I mean touch, 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 touch. This is another acting skill. If you start something and you stop it and you do this, because the director's talking to you, if you start something and stop it to get intellectual, the body gets cold. You need to understand that. What you need to do is keep touching. Because to some degree, even to the smallest element, you're in your imaginary world. So then when they say, let's do another take, you're here. That's the point of this. So while someone's talking to me, I can keep doing this. And that's what I'm doing. I can talk to the director now. I can talk to the hair and makeup people. I can talk to all the grips and all that stuff. I'm still in my element. I don't stop it to disconnect and talk to them and then get back into it. Because then I'm starting from zero. And starting from zero, the body just gets cold and shuts down, and there it goes. So always have something. What you don't want to do, and while I'm talking, you guys keep touching, is explain yourself. You know, I'm doing my exercise, and I'm doing this. No, don't explain yourself. Just keep touching. Make a sound. Now, while you guys are doing this, I want you to try something. If you're home alone, go for it. If other people are there, protect yourself. As you're doing this, and we just do this just for acting skill, nothing else. As you're touching mom, dad's hand, whether you like to or not, touch it. because that's what feeds you. I want you to make a sound, and I want you to voice something you've never told these people before, ever, about you. I had a tattoo, I smoked a joint when I was a kid, whatever it is, do it. Now, if other people in the house, say nothing. I don't care if you go blah, 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 blah. But you know what's behind that blah, blah. Because what's going to happen is we're very soon going to change it from blah, blah and from to it was you, Charlie. We're going to blend in the words of the monologue. But see, I'm saying them to mom or dad. I'm not saying them to an imaginary character. You understand me? That's the point to all this. As you touch, keep doing it. Keep creating it. You with me? So you touch things, I'll keep working, you keep working, okay? So, hold on for a sec. Someone's sending me a note about this work. So you guys keep touching and voice it. I want you to voice mom. You know what I'm saying? I want you to voice something private that you revealed as you touch. And look at their reaction. And for now, we're going to do this for a few more minutes, just this one. I want you to go to what we call a positive reaction. You know what I'm saying? Okay? I want you to get a positive reaction from them. They accept what you've done. They go for it. Now, we have shaped this enough. We've only done it 10, 20%. You could spend an hour on this. And guess what? If you need an hour to make this real, that's what you have to do. You got me? I now want you to go over here. Move your chair over here. Over here. And now, what I want you to do is to create your bedroom. The bedroom you grew up in. Now, don't just think, this is the acting skill, touch. Don't think, touch. Here's what I mean by that. Imagine you're sitting in your bedroom. And wherever your bed is, I want you to touch your bedspread. And make a sound as you do this. Physically touch the blanket. Or whatever was on your bed. And then whenever you're ready, I want you to touch your pillow. Remember the golden rule about acting. Touch is moving. And while you guys are touching the pillow and the bed, I'll keep talking. You guys keep touching it. But as you're touching stuff, I want you to look around your bedroom. I want you to see where your pillow is. I mean, your window. I want you to see where your door is. And for now, imagine that the door is closed. I want you to touch and look around. Don't stop this process, the hands, because then you do this and you're all up here. Please understand, as I said earlier, over there, this is the acting skill, to keep touching. Look around you. And if we're creating 4 walls, for each wall, I want you to find one thing. If there was a window in front of you, there's the one thing, there's the window. If the door's over there, as mine was, there's the door. Over here, is there a photograph? And since we're here, one of the biggest and most private and personal things you can do as an actor, and we'll talk about this soon, what is on your bedside table? What did you have? Now, there's a very good chance I don't remember what I had. I don't have a clue what I had when I was a kid. But put something there right now, and it needs to make sense for your brain to accept it. I didn't have an Academy Award, did I? No. But I had something. touch, 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 touch. As I'm touching the bedside table, as I'm touching this, as I'm looking over there, I start to feel a certain sense of privacy automatically. And whenever you're ready, wherever your door is, let's go to the door first. Mine was roughly over here. I want you to go to the door and I want you to stand in front of the door and touch the door. Don't just think, touch. Touch the doorknob. Look around. And it's okay to start making multiple copies of yourself. Right now, for instance, I visualize me sitting on that bed. There it is. I can touch the bed from here. I don't have to do this. Touch the back here. Touch. Please remember, while you're doing all this, I'll keep talking. Always think like a chef. I always tell people, every chef takes time to cut their ingredients. You cut your onions, you cut your garlic, whatever you're cooking with. This is what we're doing now. We're establishing this stuff. See, that's a skill because most people don't. They just jump right in there with the words, and it's what we call neck up, meaning they're just feeding off the lines, and that's not enough. What you have to do, and what amazing actors do, is they touch things. They touch things. They turn up on sets, and once again, I can name drop all day. I've seen amazing actors do this shit. They just sit there and they touch. They create imaginary doors. Now, if there's a real door there, because I'm on a film set, I would make that door mine. I would make this bed mine. This is my bed, right there. Touch, touch, touch. And whenever you're ready, I want you to walk roughly over here and touch your window. Touch the window. Touch your window. Now, while you're working, if some person from home that you're living in walks past you, just ignore them. Or if they say, yeah, where's the sugar? Just say, over there, leave me alone. And get back into it. Don't explain. Dismiss as quickly as possible. That's a skill. You're going to learn that. Okay? Dismiss all external forces quickly. And get back to this. We're trying to create imaginary worlds. And as I said last week, it takes all of our focus. Now, as you're touching this window, before we start to pay attention to outside, I want you to look at your door. I want you to look back at the version of you sitting on your bed. And now, as you're touching, touch the window. It's cold outside. It's rain, because we're going to work on rain soon. Now, please understand this. As I said last week, you don't have to bring sand to the beach. If it's already raining outside, it's already raining. Use it. But it's not raining in the street. I'm at the lovely Alex Theater right now. When I look outside, I see the street. It's raining. But I want to visualize my house so I can literally cut and paste that rain and visualize my yard. So here we are. As I cut and paste, as I touch. So now I've established the window, I've established this, I've established the door. I start to feel, to some degree, a sense of privacy. Here I am now. Privacy. I can smell it. And way over there, imagine you can see walls. You can see through walls. I visualize me having my morning drink with mom and dad. I created it over there, roughly where that blue thing is. I can touch it from here. I don't physically have to go up there. Now, please understand this. It's your work. What I mean by that is this. If you physically have to walk over here to reestablish the coffee table, that's what you have to do. You got me? Because if something doesn't work, you need to go over there and recreate it. And I'm back in my bedroom. So now, over here, or wherever your window is, I want you, as you're touching, to look at your backyard, your childhood backyard. As you touch a window, do you see a tree? Do you see a swing? Do you see a barbecue? Do you see a dog, a cat, a pet? Do you see a garden? I visualize stuff outside now. Now what I want you to do, please follow me on this. I want you to take the inside world and throw it over there. And now you are standing outside. We're just swapping it around. Once again, I want to see now if you're grabbing what I'm telling you. What's the first thing you need to do? Don't just start acting. Establish. You're outside. What are you walking on? I want you to imagine your window with your bedroom right there. I'm using the top left-hand side of the TV screen because it works. It makes sense for my brain to go, hey, there's a corner. That could be the corner of my window. And there I am sitting on my bed. Once again, I could reach out and touch the bed. But there's a version of me inside. But now I'm outside. So now, smell. Smell everything. I'm outside. And now what we need to do to make this world real is to just create a few things here. What was here from this yard that you genuinely miss? If it was a tree, go up and hug the tree. How big is it now? If there was a swing or an outdoor toy, touch it, recreate it. If there was a garden, go up and smell the flowers. Smell them. Touch them. The more things I create out here, the more things I create specifically, I feel more comfortable here. See, there's the tree, there's the swing, there's the roses, for instance. Okay? If I don't create it here, you know what's here? Nothing. So when I stand here, this shuts down. And that's what we're trying to avoid. This I've created. And over there, I have my window. So for now, we're outside. Okay? What we've done is we've created this. Okay? You stay in your space. It's okay for me to go in and out of it. I'm the director. You're the actor. That's the problem with acting. Acting is doing. Writing and directing are observing, so to speak. So now we've created this. Now I want you now to bring in the element of rain. Now, while you're all in your space, turn and look at me for a sec. A lot of what we do is imagine you're juggling a bunch of stuff. It's all there. But at any given moment, I can only very, very specifically focus on what's in my hand right now. So we're creating all these imaginary worlds. And the skill comes in going from one to the other very, very, very quickly. Okay? Or as needed, so to speak. But the others are still there. What I mean by that is, for a split second, I can go in the room. For a split second, I can go over here in the bedroom. For a split second, I can go where I created the morning drink. For a split second, I can go by the tree and hug it. And you need to do that quite fast after a while to create. Don't just think. So now we're going to do the rain. And we're going to go to two extremes. One extreme is it's pouring rain very, very heavily. We're outdoors in our childhood backyard. And we're going to do what they call act. Which acting, how do you act when you're in the rain? People go, ah, it's heavy. Ah, walk around like you're in the rain right now. Just act. Ah. But now, while you're so-called acting, it comes down to being specific. Where do you feel it specifically now? And the other extreme of this is this. Stand there. I want you to feel the first drop of rain right there. Pop, pop, pop. Feel it on your chest. Pop, 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 pop. Your foot. Your foot. Feel the rain. Try catch a raindrop with your tongue. Try catch it with your eyes. The reason why I say eyes is because most people get intellectual. Most people get intellectual. They go, well, the rain couldn't catch my eyes. No, it's imaginary. You can catch rain with your eyeballs now. So make it specific. Catch the rain. And very quickly go from here to here, which is heavy rain, just everywhere. Ah, ah, ah. Splash, 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 splash. Put a puddle there and splash and walk through it. Ah, ah. Ooh. Now, imagine we had the bedroom over there. I want you over here now to talk loudly to the imaginary version of you in the bedroom. If it was raining, okay, you'd be quite loud. Hey, how are you? Go for it. Come on. Just say hello. Hello. Constantly. Don't forget. Make the rain specific. Make the rain specific. Make the rain specific. Make the rain specific. Feel the body. Feel the body. I want you to follow one drop of water down the body, down the body, down the body. Please understand, to feel the rain here or here is different from feeling it here, here, here. Very specific. I mean, you can spend a year just exploring this rain. And right now what we're doing is we're exploring rain, which is water, because you can add what comes out of there. So whenever you're ready now, I want you to walk around your space. Go here, feel the rain, go here, and watch the footprints. Now, these are the little things we add, which makes it more specific. And without sounding artsy-fartsy, once again, this is why I've called this the method 2.0, because there's little things that you do. Most people just teach the rain. Now, I want you to find footprints from when you were a kid. There are your footprints. This child was on a different journey from this person over here. See, that little detail, for split seconds, remember when we did relaxation earlier? For a split second, I'm focused, oh my God, there's my footprints when I was a kid. Now, what journey you're on as the kid, don't start acting as a kid, just walk in your discovered footprints, is up to you. That's what we call private business. As opposed to this, different journeys. Literally by going from here to here, it makes me feel differently. Don't forget the rain. Don't forget this. I've now got, look how many different versions I've got of myself. It's me here. It's a younger person's footsteps over there. It's me in my bedroom. It's me over there drinking a morning drink, with or without the family, alone or not. And keep going with the rain. The moment you start getting intellectual, the moment you start going, yeah, 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 it's pouring. Make it physical. Just go, feel the rain. Feel the rain. And please understand one thing. Rain is such an assault on the body. Next time it rains, go outside there, stand in the rain for 2 whole minutes. Your body will go, fuck, I gotta get out of it. That's how specific this is. So don't just stand there like it's just normal. Actually get out and go, feel the rain, feel the rain, feel the rain, feel the rain. And feel it right there, right there, right there. Smell it. Smell the rain. Take it all in. Now, all this, as I said earlier, okay, was what we call exploration. We're just exploring stuff. You with me? Now, what we're going to do now, and those of you that don't have it, it's okay. We're going to now add the lovely monologue. You know what I'm saying? We're going to add the monologue. I want you to understand something now. What we've done is created things just for the hell of an exercise. You got me? We've created this just for an exercise. What you create is up to you, but follow the same rule. Create, touch, establish. Now let's listen to these lines again. And I want you to say them as you. You don't have to do the whole monologue if you haven't got it printed out. I don't care if you pick 2 or 3 lines, but we will read. And while I read, I want you to figure out what parts could be fed by what. Could it be fed by you standing in the rain? Could it be fed by you over here? Who are you talking to? Are you talking to the version of you in the bedroom? Because if you were, I'll give you an example. If you were in the bedroom and you were meant to be doing your homework and you were bullshitting around, then when you're saying the line, it was you, you could be saying the line to that version of you. It was you that let yourself down by not doing your homework. You understand me? But the line will be fed by that. If I visualize it by doing it over here to the mom and dad people, then it's fed by that moment. What happens, and I want you to understand this, when I say that line, I'm not thinking of the words on the page. I'm actually being fed by that or by that. That's the difference. And it's that slight thing that it translates differently. We get it. We feel it. It's what they call in the body. It's not some intellectual bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And you see people talking about script breakdown and script interpretation. That's great. Intellectually, it's pointless. Meaning, if you don't get all that script interpretation into the body, then you're a critic. You know what I'm saying? That's not what we're here for. Okay? The actor feeds off what's physical in front of them, not intellectual stuff. So now we're going to read this. It wasn't him, Charlie, it was you. Who's Charlie? For you, personally. Remember that night in the garden? Well, just by chance, we happened to be in the garden. I didn't plan, that just happened. But what night are you talking about? You personally, which moment is fed by this? You came down to my dressing room and said, what is that for you? When did someone say to you that you weren't good enough or you couldn't make it? Do you visualize that house or that moment as you do all this stuff? And I want you to go there now. Kid, this ain't your night. We're going from the price on Wilson. Where is all this taking place? Don't lose this. And we're going to ad-lib now because most of you haven't memorized this. But we're going to memorize or ad-lib the words, hey, it wasn't him, it was you. Remember that night, because I want you to visualize what night. And I want you to hear them saying the words, this ain't your night. I could have taken Wilson apart. He gets a title shot to Bull, and I get a one-way ticket to Palookaville. Right? What I mean by that is, who are you saying these words to? You was my brother, Charlie. You can say whatever you like for yourself. You call my cousin, you were my father, you were my mother, you're my brother, whatever. You should have taken care of me for just a little bit so I wouldn't have to take them dives for a short end. Right? You need to say all the lines I skipped by an idiot. I could have taken Wilson apart. That's a big one. Now I'm gonna talk now really quickly. I'm gonna say the words really quickly now. I'm in the rain. I want you all to try this. We're gonna make a choice now to be in the rain. Let's be in the rain. Create the rain. Open up the body. Feel the rain in here. Find your footprints. Find your footprints. Find your footprints. Smell your backyard. What is it about your backyard? Oh, do you smell the roses? Do you smell the lemon tree? Whatever it is. And I want you to say these words now. They're going to feel, please understand this, real for 2 to 10 seconds and fake for 80% of the time. The moment they feel fake, feed it with what you actually believe in by hearing, seeing things. Just say them now. Come on. It wasn't you, Charlie. Make the rain real. Make the rain real. Make the rain very, very heavy. Make the rain very, very heavy. Remember that night in the garden? He came down to my dressing room. Make the rain very cold. Open up the body. Kid, this ain't your night. You were going for the price on Wilson. You remember that? This ain't your night. My night. I would have taken Wilson apart. So what happened? He gets a title shot outdoors in the ballpark. What do I get? A one-way ticket to Palookaville. You was my brother, Charlie. You should have taken care of me a little bit. Should have taken care of me a little bit so I wouldn't have to take the dives or the short end money. Just feel the rain now. Feel the rain. Feel the mud. As you keep feeling the mud now, I want you now to make the inside, what we call time sensitive. By time sensitive, please learn this as an actor. If I see someone robbing my house, it's urgent. There's an urgency to it. I got to get the information across now while I'm in the rain. Hey, motherfucker, get out of my house. If I am feeding off something that happened 10 years ago, someone robbed my house 10 years ago, then there's no urgency to it. It's casual. And your work comes out as shit. I want you to take the information on this paper, whatever it is, and see that happening in your house. What I mean by that is this. Whatever that person said to you that made you feel like you couldn't do it, it's happening right now. You're watching that person tell the young version of you, the dreamer, the young person that wants to be a creative person in your bedroom. That person's coming inside your room and saying, hey, you can't do this. You should stop this shit. You should, go become a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant or whatever it is. And you're trying to stop that. See, because now the information is different. You understand me? Now the information has more need to it. Please remember, we're just doing this as an acting exercise. We're not doing the scene that's in the film. And let's make the rain very, very heavy. Make it extra muddy, like you're stuck in shit. And extra cold. And there's no one out here to help you. Ad lib. It's okay. I'll read the whole monologue. But please understand one final thing. You have to be loud enough to be heard in your bedroom. See, that's different now. All right? You got to be loud enough. And it's okay to repeat lines. Repeat a beat. There's nothing worse than watching an actor do. And one way you can tell if an actor's just doing lines, if they don't repeat anything or a genuine moment. That's an actor doing lines. I want you to get the point across. So I'll give you an example. When you're saying it wasn't him, Charlie, it was you, you can say it was you again and again and again and again. Because Charlie is not listening. You got me? So if you were doing that line with an actor and you feel like they're not listening, you'd say it again till they fucking heard it. So now you're going to say it to the imaginary you. And you're going to go right there, Charlie. It was you right there. You came into my room. The line is my dressing room, but I'm saying my bedroom. It was you, Charlie. You came into my dressing room. Remember that night you came to my dressing room and said, kid, this ain't your night. We're going for the price on Wilson. You remember that? There it is. I remember it. I see it. I see you, Charlie, coming into my room and telling me stop acting, telling me to stop dreaming. It was you. You did it right there. This ain't my night. My night, I could have taken Wilson apart. And now you've left me out in the rain. What I mean by that is, in that moment, that younger version of you genuinely believed that they could have taken Wilson apart. When you were a kid, you genuinely believed that you could have been a very, very successful actor. And something happened, please understand it's not therapy, that stopped or took a shit on that process or made it more difficult. And I want you to make that specific, because that's what I'm feeding it as now. And look how the brain works. We're taking pieces now and combining them. What I mean by that is, while all that's going on, I'm out in the rain. No one's coming in the rain to save me. That person isn't coming outside saying, hey, come in, it's nice and warm here. I'm stuck in the rain. I'm stuck in the rain. Oh, feel it, man. Back to the lines. You remember that in my night? I could have taken Wilson apart. So what happened? He gets a title shot on the ballpark, and what do I get? A one-way ticket to Palookaville. I could have been a contender. Throw out that line again and again. I could have been somebody. I could have had class. Oh, it's all fed right there, guys. By that, what you're creating. You got me? Right there. There it is. You could have been somebody. You could have been a contender. Instead of what you are, you're stuck outside. And that's where the line comes from. Very basic. I want you now to flip it. We're going to try two ideas, just so you understand where this stuff could go. No, will go. There's no time in a couple of hours. Now I want you to go to what I call extreme positiveness, meaning you're out in the rain and you get a sense of freedom. Freedom. You're not suffering now. Once again, don't act freedom. Don't act freedom. Feel freedom. Feel free. The rain is washing off all the shit. It's brilliant. I want you to take mud and throw it up in the air. Throw it up in the air. And go, oh my God, I feel a sense of freedom. Free. Now, what we're going to feed it off, and once again, this is just a suggestion, I want you to go to your room and create something positive or negative. Negative. Somewhere in this house, at some stage, you had to do something you didn't enjoy. Going to a day job, going to a school that you didn't enjoy. Something. Take a few seconds to create it. Imagine getting up. I remember I had a day job and I hated it. And I haven't had many day jobs in my life, thank God for that. You're getting ready to shave or to whatever it is. And there you are getting ready for that job that you hate. But now you're out here feeling a sense of freedom. I'm out here. I'm free. I'm going to do everything against the system. I'm going to take mud and throw it up in the air and go, oh my God. And now, this may not make sense intellectually, but once again, we're doing it for acting skill. I want you to say these lines now, these lines right here, with that sense of freedom, meaning I conquered Charlie. I beat the fucking system, all right? I finally realized it was you and I'm free and I didn't shine, but I will now. So now we're going to try it. It wasn't him, Charlie. It wasn't him. It was you. Throw the mud up in the air and feel the sense. I'm finally free of you, Charlie. I'm finally free of you. Say those lines even though they're not in the script. As you feel a sense, feel the rain washing off all the negative people in your life or whatever you want to do. See, the brain accepts that. The rain is being washed off. It was you, Charlie. Now I'm free of you. Remember that night. Remember it. You came in like a big shot trying to talk to me, and the rain is washing you off, Charlie. The rain is washing you out of my system. Once again, I'm feeding it by the rain. You came down my dressing room and said, kid, this ain't your night. This ain't my night. Are you kidding me, Charlie? Not my night. I want you to take a bunch of mud and throw it at Charlie and go, fuck you. Now, I can't say fuck you. It's not in the script, but I can go, not my night. Are you kidding me? Not my night. Charlie, I could have been someone. You threw mud on me. You left me out in the rain. It's all fed by the rain. Because that's the choice we're making now. And keep throwing mud at him. I could have been someone, Charlie. Instead, I'm back here, but I'm finally free. I feel the rain washing off all the negative stuff, Charlie, and I'm finally free. That's the difference. Do you understand the difference? Now, what we just did is called bulldozing, meaning I took an exercise that you can create for an hour or longer, or you can do every single night for the next week until you ferment it so much that it will feed any monologue you like. We bulldozed it, and I'm trying to get it to you so you take it home and do this. That's your homework. Be out in the rain. Change the rain to whatever you like, bubblegum, chocolate, blood, whatever. It will feed the lines differently. Change who and what you're talking to. Make the rain wash things off or not wash things off. And it's all fed by this. See, I'm not thinking result. I'm not thinking the lines. I'm thinking what feeds it. And guess what's going to happen? Every time you do it, it will be fed again by the fact. I'll give you an example now. That Charlie is going to come in and say those things again to you, meaning whatever you've created, that person will come back into your room and say those words again. You're going to go, there you are again. You did it last week. Now you're doing it again. So it feeds the monologue. That's what most actors don't get right. What they do is they mimic the monologue. What I mean by that is they feed off what fed them last week, and then they start to act it out. I want you to rediscover it. You're going to go, there you are again. You're in, and you're doing what you can do. And you're going to say it. Stop telling me that shit. It's fed by what I see and what I've created. And if after a while seeing isn't enough, touch, touch, touch to recreate it. That's a skill, and you need to master that so well that when you're on a film set or that you're on a stage, it literally takes seconds. People don't have time for you to create your shit, but because I've done it for so long, or you would have created it so long, sometimes all you have to do is feel the rain, and there it is. Oh. And if you're lucky enough and you're working and it's raining, it'll feed you. That's just a very basic example how these exercises feed you, right? Now, as I said earlier, we're going to try something quite quickly. Not everything is about intellectual stuff and all that stuff. What I mean by that is this. We're now going to do some exercises that are purely physical. We're going to do these again next week with a lot of other variations. Right now, I just want you to think of physical stuff. What I mean by that is this. There's a wonderful story about an actor. I forgot his name. I should remember it. He was an actor studio person, and he's doing a scene where the character is sitting in front of the mirror and he's going to shoot himself. It's a suicide scene, right? So what he was doing is he could work up all this stuff as to why the character's going to do this and making the gun real. And for whatever reason, it got to the stage where the moment that he was meant to pull the trigger, he couldn't do it. That's in the script. And he lets it. But he couldn't do it as an actor. He couldn't sustain the believability of it. So he did all these things where he created everything that fed him about why he would do himself in. But the last minute, he changed it to something purely physical. Now, in real life, he hated getting into a cold shower. So he would go into a cold shower in real life and go, oh, as you do. And without telling anyone, and apparently he didn't tell anyone for 10 to 15 years, he changed the choice the last second. So he's doing this thing and he's feeding it by all these, personal things. And the moment he's going to do it, he just changed it to cold shower. And he went something like this. Oh, cold shower, cold shower. And he didn't shoot. No one knew what he was working on. And it wasn't an intellectual exercise, meaning it was just something physical. It takes a lot of balls to work like that, but you should be aware of it. What I mean by that is this. Some things are fed by a physical thing. What we're going to try now is, just so you understand this, and I know a lot of people don't like to work like this. well, I'm a serious actor, I'm a method actor. Yeah. Sometimes, as a good teacher of mine said, a nail in your knee will hurt just as much. What I mean by that is this: it's okay to sometimes have the capacity as an actor to throw in something that's just physical. What I mean by that is this: look, imagine there's a piece of fabric here. This is called fabric. And the first fabric is a nice fabric that you like. It could be silk, right? I want you to move your body against the silk. As I said last week, if there's real fabric there, I want you to move. It's just hovering, the fabric. I want you to move the body and feel it. Now, at the beginning, overdo it. Overdo it. As we do this more, we do it slightly. I want you to feel the fabric. And don't think, well, this doesn't make sense for the script. Just do it to explore it now and say the lines like that. It wasn't him, Charlie. Oh, it wasn't him. It was you. It was you. Now, what happens is your brain goes, this doesn't make sense. I'm talking to my brother. Yeah. And I say, shut up. Just try it. Try it. Because if you go to the rough fabric, think of something rough like linen. Be very, very specific now. You're walking through linen, and the lines will come out like this. Oh, it wasn't you, Charlie. It wasn't you. I'm only thinking of fabric. Fabric, or weird fabric, which is weird, like jello. I want you to walk through that and make all this as real and specific as you can. And here's why. There are many, many times when you're doing your work and your choices just fall to shit. You literally lose them. At that moment, you've got many choices, but one basic choice is to completely come out of the exercise or to drop in with a fabric and feel the fabric and feed the exercise. So your lines are still fed by what you're feeling physically, which is the physicality of the fabric, and then go back to what you're creating. If you don't have something to fall back to, like a secondary or third choice, you come out of the exercise. And now what happens is your body gets cold and it's hard to go back into it. You understand me? These are things worth exploring. I want you to explore them and to do them and to feel them and to walk through and then fold it back into the rain. Fold it back into the rain. One other thing before we move on, because we've got a lot of work to cover in just a couple of hours. I want you now to make it 4 a.m. 4 a.m. Be in your backyard. Smell it. It's 4 a.m. See your breath. Look how different the words come out. And it's raining. It's raining. How heavy is the rain will feed the way the words come out. And you could say, Charlie, I could have been a contender. I really could have been. And I'm just feeding it off the rain. And it's no one's business what I'm working on. I could be standing in the footprints of the young kid who believed in himself and going, oh my God, I could have been something. I could have been something special. When I walked on these footprints, I actually believed I could have done it. And Charlie, you took that away from me. So now I'm feeding off the footprints that I've created. See, that's something that will feed the lines. You're going to find little moments in the monologue that are different. And after a while, if you find or you feel, your gut feeling is that you feel for a split second that feeds that line, then when I say that line, for that split second, I'm just focused on the rain. And that's what I'm doing right there. And I'm smelling things. And another thing you can add really quickly before we let go of this exercise, because we understand what the monologue is about, someone that didn't reach their potential. What in this lovely yard, what in this yard is there that you didn't really explore 100%? I'll give you an example. If there was a swing and you didn't play with it enough, go, my God, I didn't play with this enough. Touch the swing, touch the toy. Go, shit, I didn't play with that ball enough. or that bat or that tennis racket or whatever the hell you got in your backyard. And go, Jesus, I could have done something with this, but I didn't. See, now the line is fed by all these things that I'm touching and creating. You're fighting to just do the lines on the script. It's all fed by this. It's all fed by this. It's all fed by this. And remember where we started? Let's turn the whole thing around now. I want you now to go back to being the kid in the bedroom. And I want you to touch the bed again. And as you touch the bed and you touch your pillow, I want you now to look outside and see that other version of you. But this time, the version of you is doing things. They're out there in the rain exploring. They're out there in the rain playing ball. And before that, they're out there making a film. They're out there. You're in here. So now the monologue has a whole other sense to it. Because now I'm in here. And I could have been out there. And he's the equivalent of Charlie coming to my room saying, hey, you shouldn't do this acting shit or whatever it is you want to hear. And you're going to go, stop. I could have been out there. I could have been a contender. I could have done something. But I'm not. What I am is I'm sitting here doing nothing. I'm just dreaming about it. I'm just dreaming about it. And I'm not doing it. See, now that's fed by me touching this bed and touching the pillow and not realizing that the dream is out there. And there you are out in the rain, being brave, being courageous. But in reality, no, you're not. You're in here playing it safe because this person told you. And it's not okay because now the lines will come out differently. Because they're going to come and you're going to go, no. And while I'm creating all this, as you can see, I'm still touching stuff. And to a very strong degree, I'm now private. I'm private. I'm in my bedroom. And this person's come to tell me, and you're going to go, oh God, no, don't. I could have been someone. I could have been a contender. And that's what feeds it. Privacy automatically. Please understand this. The variables of this, the potential of this are never ending. It's infinite. And that's what I tell people. That's what makes it your work. Because if I had 100 people with this monologue, I want you to make it yours, not to copy what Marlon did. That's his work. He got paid for it. He got remembered for it. What is it? How can you make these words yours? Is a skill. And this is the thing we struggle with the most, and it matters. It's your voice saying those words. And as Stella Adler used to say, I want your heart and soul on my stage. She used to say that. I want your heart and soul in these words because they matter. This is biblical. That's another Stella Adler quote. She used to say it's biblical, meaning this isn't something small. This isn't, hey, kid, you ordered the wrong pizza. This is life-changing. It's crushing. It's biblical. Since the Bible or whatever you believe in, someone has crushed someone's dreams. So you got to do it with such responsibility that when you say these words, you actually feel it here, not neck up. It's here. And you can say it every night. And look at the variables. Your work will become so unique that they're going to go, shit, look at that. There's the way directors work and the way, let's call them critics work. They say, there's something about that one. The something is what we work on. What something is my choices that I've made. I could be in my bed, and let's assume that the director says, okay, now you got to stand right here. Here's your mark. It doesn't work for me to sit down. I can imagine I'm touching whatever I like right here. and I could say the words. I can have 20,000 different versions of this. One is 4 o'clock in the morning. The other one is me throwing mud at Charlie, which feeds me like this. And I want to throw more mud at him. It's no one's business what I'm working on. Take this and try this at home. Again and again. I don't care if you change the monologue. You got me? That's your homework. Now, 2 other things we need to talk about. Character work and your writing monologue. For those of you that have just joined us or the first time around, character work is a character that we picked. It's what we call a historic character. I give an example of Henry VIII. Do these as acting muscle for the rest of your life. So now what I want you to do, I want you, and we're going to give your character 3, let go of the other exercises now. That's done. Now we work on character work. One way to quickly feed character is to find someone that's like that character. Let's assume I'm doing Henry VIII. I know a couple of uncles of mine that have that sense of bravado and strength and confidence. I want you to start, not mimic, but copy what they do. And I want you to start, as I said last week, to find that center of gravity. Let's assume you put it up here. So you walk around like this. Your hands might have a sense of strength. And whatever your chosen character is, whatever your sense is, if you don't have one yet, just pick one quickly. Something from a past time and place, historic. Not now, because now you're always doing this. I want you, as we said last week, to pick 3 centers of gravity or 3 things that remind you. What I tell people is Elvis. Elvis has the voice, the hips, the cape. I want you to walk around as your character. Do your character. And now, whatever comes in your mind, just do it. Don't intellectualize it. You can do that later. You can do all your research in the world. I want you to get up as your character. I want you to wake up. Where did they sleep? But before you start moving around, do it to find it in the body first. Overdo it. I'm overdoing it to show you right now. There's my Henry VIII for now. And I want you to imagine your character just woke up. Now, some people wake up and they're running around. They're very late. The servant does that. The king wakes up. If there's a war on, you wake up differently. If it's a lazy Sunday afternoon, you take your time. But don't lose the center of gravity. So just act. But act very specifically. We do this as kids without realizing it. How does your character? What you're going to do now is get up as your character, get dressed. What does your character put on? What does your character put on? Boots. What? Put them on. Find their voice. What are they sleeping? Do they have a nice bed or do they sleep on a straw mattress? Touch it. See, once again, don't just act, touch it to recreate it. Touch it. Put their clothes on. What do they wear? If I'm doing Henry VIII and he had helpers, I would have someone helping me. Put on your clothes. For now, put on your imaginary clothes. If you're at home, grab a sheet, a jacket, grab something that feeds that character. Grab it, put it on, walk around. Put it on, walk around. Walk around as your character. Do they look at themselves in the mirror or not? Act. Make it up. Do they put makeup on? Do they comb their hair? What does your character do? Some people spend days on getting themselves ready. Some people spend minutes. You, as an actor, make a choice. What does your Henry VIII or equivalent do? What does your person do? And in time, you do research. If you found out that Henry VIII was meticulous and he wanted his hair a certain way and he wanted the crown a certain way, then you better take your time to do it. Do you even wear the crown? I don't think he walked around with a crown all day long. Who does that? So get your character ready. Now, while you're getting ready, I will talk. Please understand this. Remember, like I said to everyone, every actor gets the same script. What great actors do, and we'll talk about this every week, what do they put in there? I just said get ready to get up. But Why are they getting ready today? Make that choice. For now, you're going to go get breakfast, but are you facing a day job that you don't want to face? Or are you all excited? Because like I said, it's a Sunday morning, it's a day off. Wake up, get ready, put your character's clothes on. Don't lose the center of gravity. And now, whenever you're ready, I want you now to go have breakfast. Whatever your character does for breakfast. If you're a caveman, you probably ate some nuts from the forest or something. I don't care. Do something. How does your character eat? We've seen films of these people living in palaces, and they got tons of food and they eat like this. That's a very stereotypical choice. But if you do it properly, by properly I mean if you make it real, then it's not stereotypical. How does your character eat? Does your character eat with a knife and fork? Or do they just grab the food like this? If you're playing a real character, it's your responsibility to do research and find out how they ate. As I've said in the past, when Sean Penn worked on Harvey Milk, and if you haven't seen the film Milk, please do it. It's amazing work. Not good, fucking brilliant. He did research about how Harvey Milk ate. If it's not a real character, then you make a choice based on what information the script gives you. Because the way they eat, did they make their bed or not? Are they nice and meticulous? That's your character. Are they religious? I remember my grandmother, before she ate, she used to do this. She used to do a cross. Like, God bless us, just in case we ate some poisonous food. Or thank you for the food. I don't know why she was doing it. So if your character is religious, that's what you do. Do they wear a napkin like this? That's character. Do they do this? I want you to now just play with it. Don't worry about getting it right. Just find it. Eat as your character. And what does your character eat? This takes research. I don't know if they had bacon and eggs when it was Henry VIII's time. I don't have a clue what the fuck they ate. Find it, but eat as them. Are they elegant in their eating? Most of our characters, because they're historic, didn't have television. So what did they do while they ate? Did they look outside the garden? Did they eat fruit? Eat as your character. Eat as your character, whichever one you decide. Overdo it, eat. Or do they eat like this? Or do they eat like a dog? Dogs eat and they look for other dogs. Don't come near my fucking food, I'll kill you. Is that your character? You make a choice. So you eat like this. Watch Eli Wallach in Good, the Bad, the Ugly. Fucking brilliant. Method actor, for lack of a better word. How does your character eat? How does your character eat? How does your character eat? You decide. But what I'm saying is the way you dressed is the same way that you eat. And I want you now to finish your breakfast and to get ready to go outside. And it's okay every now and then if you overdo it. If you walk around to find the character. The moment you start to lose it, stop, find it, fill in the body, have it right there. That's my character. Find their voice. And now get ready to go out in the real world. I want you to understand this really quickly before we go out in the real world. Every character, and we'll talk more and more about this, there's many aspects, but right now we're talking about 3 aspects of a character's life. There's what we call the public life, which is you out in the street. There's what we call the private life, which is you here in private, because in your kitchen you can look like a schlep, and right now with this whole coronavirus going on, we all walk around looking like shit because there's no reason to get dressed and go outside. Or there's the private or secret life. What's going on secretly in your character? So if it's Henry VIII and he's got a shitload of wives, are you having breakfast with your current wife going, bitch, I hope you drop dead because tomorrow you'll be replaced? That's a secret of mine. How you eat your food as you do. Great characters work all the time. We'll talk about working with secrets sometime soon. So now that you finished your breakfast, I want you to get outside. I want you to get ready. Do you move the chair back or do you push the table forward? They're great choices. As Henry VIII, I'd push the table forward because not everyone can push the table forward. It's a great fucking choice. Get ready now to go outside. What do? Do you put a jacket on? I don't think Henry VIII had keys. I don't know. Research. What would he dress? Where? Walk around. This weekend, at one stage, I want you all to make dinner or lunch as your character. Make lunch as your character, dress as your character, and get out and open the door, ready to face the world. He had heavy doors, I guarantee you. And walk around as your character. There's my character. I'm here. Don't lose the center of gravity. Do you understand me? Try, it's not enough to just walk around as your character with what we call the center of gravity. You've got to feed it in an activity. That's what Stella Adler used to talk about all the time. The character is revealed in the activity. The character is revealed in how they do a certain activity. Because once again, I can get many different characters to change here, to eat here, and to get ready for the outdoor world, and it will look differently. You know what I'm saying? If I'm Mother Teresa, it will look very different. She would pray. She would do something else over here. She would do something. You get the idea. It's quite different, right? If I'm doing Ivan the Terrible, or someone else that's terrible, like an Adolf Hitler type of guy, it could look very different. The activity is still the same. Get dressed, have breakfast, go out in the real world, but it would be different. So I want you to discover during the week your character with all those centers of gravity as you do all this. Finally, and I'm going to spend a bit of time on this now. The last thing, every week I talk to you, and we're going to spend a few minutes on this now. For those of you that are joining us for the very first time, I want you to learn how to start creating product for yourself. I want you to write. Okay? Not everyone's great, but it's a start. For those of you that have written or tried to write in the last 4 or 5 weeks, we started this, I think it's our 5th class or 4th class, whatever it is. Be honest now. This is what it comes down to. As I said earlier, Warren Buffett said, you don't have to be better than anyone else. You've got to be more disciplined than everyone else. And that's what it comes down to. Your career is based on how much discipline you've got. So, at one stage, you have an idea for a short film or a play or whatever. And you thought about it. But then the work gets hard, so you stopped doing it. Because you talked yourself out of it. And that becomes your habit. Oh, this is a great idea, let's start. It becomes work, drop it. Oh, this is a great idea, let's do it. It becomes work, drop it. That's your career. I want you to change that. Because one day you're going to sit in the film and you're going to go, shit, that was my idea. The difference is they did it. But they put the hours and hours that's required. So now I want you to, whatever you started writing 5 weeks ago, we're talking about 5 weeks, that's a long time. Do you have it in front of you? And if you don't have the actual writing, just like we did character work, just like we did all those other sensory exercises, for lack of a better word, there's a spark there, there's an idea. And great writers do that. This is where the acting blends with the writing. It's okay. It's okay to tape these things, whatever you like, to act out your scene. Whatever scene you have, act it out. I've got a scene, an idea for a scene I'm working on. It's okay to act it out. It's okay to walk around as the character. Walk around as the character. What do you visualize? Do it. Because there's a very good chance that what you visualize is only good for about 1 or 2 minutes at best. And 1 or 2 minutes doesn't get you anywhere. You need to take that 1 or 2 minutes and overwork it. So by doing it, it forces a lot of realities on you now. What's your character doing? I've got an idea for a short film. I've got many ideas, but the one I'm thinking of right now. Do it. Act it out. So now what's forcing me is to make things real. Oh my God, where am I? Where am I coming from? Work, a bar, home. There's many choices. Where's your character coming from? The one you're going to write. And while you're doing all this shit, it's okay to have a pen and paper or whatever you write on and just make brief points. Don't try and get it right. Just point form. Oh yeah, they're coming into the room. They're doing this. They're doing this. Say the lines. It's okay to act out the lines. Joe says this and she says this. Hi, how are you? Good to see you. Blah, 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 blah. Don't worry about getting the dialogue right. You can do the fine editing later. Just write your ideas. At least you got something on paper. You can edit later. If you, they call it vomiting. If you don't vomit all these ideas on paper, you're going nowhere. So whatever comes to your mind, great writers just have a pen and paper next to their bed. I want you now to take those 3 or 4 ideas, or as many as you have, and explore them. This is amazing. This is fun. This is why we do this shit. This is what started a long time ago. There's a very good chance one day as a kid, you were in your bedroom and acted out great ideas that you had. You go, oh my God, I feel great. And someone said, what do you want to do with your life? I want to be an actor because I'm creating imaginary worlds. This is it. It's such a luxury to be able to do this. So start to act out your imaginary world and write over here. Act it out again, write. Now we've done it for less than 10 minutes. We've done it for 5 minutes. The point is this. Imagine if you spent a full hour on this, a day, uninterrupted. Uninterrupted. No Facebook, no internet. Put some music on and force yourself to stay in this scenario. So you start to write quickly. The boy said this, the girl said this, blah, 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 blah. And before you finish as a writer, and this is just writing now, we had this the last 10 minutes of the class here. Before you finish as a writer, this is the beginning of a scene, this is the end, and you finish it. Don't finish with ending something. Because what happens is when I come back here, I'm now starting from zero. It helps if before you finish, to write down all the ideas you get in your head, because now the creative juices are flowing. Go, oh shit, next week they're going to be on a bridge. Next week they're going to be on a tram. Next week they're going to go across the supermarket. Just jot them down quickly. Blah, 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 blah. Not next week, tomorrow, right? So when you come here tomorrow, you go, oh shit, these are my ideas that fed me. And if you want to rewrite this one tomorrow, it's okay to go ahead first before you bog yourself down in the editing to make the scene perfect. You might cut the scene. So it's okay at the beginning just to get, and I want you to understand this as a writer now, to get from A to Z. Basically, this happens, this happens, this happens, this happens, this happens. There's my story. I now have a very, very basic backbone of my story. I might not end up here. I might not start here. I could start here. I could start wherever we like. But the point is, it's something that feeds me. And then you need to make a commitment to finish this story. Because if you believe in it so much and you believe in it, you might actually get somewhere. If you don't believe in the story, no one else will. No one. You have to be so embedded in it. You have to be so committed to it that you see this done. You see this project finished, made. Otherwise, it will always remain an idea and a dream. And that's what we're trying to do with our acting here. So this just isn't an idea. This just isn't a dream or a fantasy. You're actually doing shit for your work. You got me? So your homework is to do your sensory work, explore the rain in the coffee cup and all that. If you're not sure what to do, it's okay if you email me. I'll get to it eventually, right? Or at least I'll know what to answer next week. Do your relaxation every day. Start with 20 minutes a day, build up to it. 20 minutes, learn how to focus for 20 minutes. It's not asking much. And then walk around as your character, make breakfast, make lunch, whatever. As I've said this before, I remember Marty Landau, amazing actor who does this stuff. He's what we call a coffee cup actor. He was working on, what's the name of the project? Ed Wood. And he was playing Bela Lugosi. And I still remember this. I remember I called his house one day and said, hello, this is Marty Landau. How are you? He answered the phone in character. And he's Marty Landau. He's done over 100 films, I think close to 200. You haven't. See, you haven't, and you're not doing the work. You won't get there. So walk around as your character. Take a shower as your character. Eat as your character. Get dressed as your character. And the other piece of homework, relaxation, sensory work, character work, and write. 1 hour a day of writing. It starts to become a habit. Once you get the writing habit, you become a writer. Write without editing. Write. Now, that's that. Next week, and I'll talk to the lovely technical team we have over here, I want to see, I'd like to start with people I've never seen before. There's a lot of you out there that I know. I'd like to start with people. I'll find your emails, or you can email me or let me know, or put on the Facebook page. I want to see 5 to 10 monologues. Okay? I'll find a way that we can play them. Our primary focus next week will be monologues. 5 to 10 of you. Everyone hates doing monologues. Again, that's your job. And I want you to think on your own at the beginning. I will have, and hopefully we'll all be able to see it, 5 or 10 monologues. Before I finish, don't treat it like an acting exercise. Because if you just throw it away, that's your career. And as I said before, everyone does this. Oh, well, it's just a shitty class on a Thursday night. No one cares. But tomorrow when I get my big break, I'll be amazing. No, the way you work today in this shitty class is the way you're going to work tomorrow. That's your habit. And it's very hard to break the habit because that's the body. The body is lazy. The body wants to come to a neutral point. The body just wants to relax. And we're saying, no, condition this body. I want to see 5, we'll do 5 or 10 depending on time, but let's have at least 10 ready monologues. And I'll see the 10 after and 10 after, like, a few a week. And I want you to see the patterns that we're looking for. What makes a good monologue? If you don't have a good monologue, you're shooting yourself in the foot. And find it. That's your job. We'll comment on it next week. Okay? So thank you very much. We'll see you next week. And we'll go from there. Take care, folks. Okay? Bye.